Hello and welcome to the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series live tonight from Daytona for the VSPEED 200. Race number 2 of round 1 of the playoffs here in the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. Tonight's race, 80 laps, 200 miles. And drivers trying to make their way into the next round. With a win here tonight, maybe we'll see an outsider capture a victory, though. Only one way to find out, and we've got to run 80 laps before we do. I want to thank you for joining us here tonight live on VSPEED for this running of the VSPEED 200, our sponsored race here in the first round. The drivers on the track practicing, getting some drafting time in, and trying to improve their skills there and see what kind of speed they've got, when to make that final move on the last lap to complete a pass and also avoid what just happened right there. Definitely not what you want to be a part of when it comes to race time. But should be a lot of fun here tonight. We've seen some incredible moments from this series over the last few weeks, and some incredible moments here at the super speedways. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight's race to see where your favorite drivers stand in the playoffs. You can see AJ Stravado capturing the win last week at North Wilkesboro. He comes out in this race, and he'll have an opportunity to capture another one and get some more playoff points, but he is locked into round number 2 no matter what happens in tonight's race. Trailing behind him in the standings in pretty good shape, Jeff Pogo, Eric Hutton also with a pretty solid points gap, Ryan Gemmel up there as well, and then Nick Starling with his victory, he's up there at 33 points above the cut line, and then it starts to get a little bit tighter. Josiah Vincent just 20 up above the cut line, Seth Hatchell there 18 points, and Alan Dyson 8th, just 15 points above that cut line. And you look down a few more spots. Safe Ferris, he had an issue at the start of last week's event. He comes into this race tied at the cut line with Zach Smith. So one of those drivers looking for a breakout night and potentially looking to capture a win, to not even think about all of that. And we'll see how things go for all of these drivers. Some below the cut line, but not by too many points. Michael Newman, Lane Sulfridge, and Timothy Emanuele all within 8 points of that cut line. So we'll see if they can climb up there inside the top 12 and try and advance to round number 2. So the drivers just wrapping up the practice session, going to be headed to qualifying here in just a moment. We want to thank everyone who followed over the last day or so while we've been offline. A lot of people now climbing up nearly 400 followers. We're about 16 away, so that number continues to grow. And like we mentioned over the last few weeks, we are going to be doing a giveaway when we get to our follower goals on Twitter and right here on Twitch. So follow on both of the platforms to be eligible for that giveaway. It's going to be any shirt or any hat that you would like from the VSPEED store. So head on over there, see if there's anything you like, and get prepared to be a member of that giveaway when we hit those magic numbers as the drivers head to the track for the qualifying session. Let's bring up the qualifying ticker so you can see where these guys line up. And a few drivers running the throwback schemes from last week. Looks like Dallas Sullivan still in that throwback number 6. Eric Lambert, the number 3 there behind him. Looks like a new scheme for him. And let's see if don't see him on the track, but Brett Salmers, want to give a big shout out to him. I heard he got engaged just recently, so congratulations on that. We'll highlight him when he gets on the racetrack. He's running over in the Underdog Racing League as well. We just broadcast that last night, the first one of our short contract with them to go to the end of the year. If you haven't seen it, go back, check out the VOD here on the Twitch channel. It'll be up on our YouTube early next week. Already set to upload. As Brett Sommer still not on the track, but some time starting to come in. Dallas Sullivan running 48.2, but he gets stopped by Eric Lambert at 48.191. A good first lap time. We'll see if he can pick up on lap number 2, as he still holds the top spot. Even now Chris Wheeler takes over that spot, 47.90. That number 22 car, great first lap. We'll see if he can improve on that, or if he took the short way around on the first lap. Jason Perkins now to the top with a 47.76. Carrying some great speed. The only car I've seen hit 189 to this point, but looks like we've got some hitting 190 on their second lap. Some names to keep an eye on here tonight. Ryan Gemmel, very good at these super speedways. And Joshua Abbey, we'll see if he is here tonight. I don't see him right now. Safe Ferris goes to the top. Number 44 machine, a 47.68. I think that is going to do it for him. Nick Starling, the winner from Talladega. And a new paint scheme, the matte black with chrome numbers and sponsors. Very cool, kind of basic scheme. He is at the top right now. Actually tied the lap time with Safe Ferris. Just 1/1000th faster. Or close to 1/1000th. It is the first 3 numbers all the same. Seth Hatchell jumps to 3rd, just 3/1000ths off. And number 8 machine looking for his first victory of the season, and what a time it would be to get it here at Daytona in round number 1 of the playoffs. Taking a look, trying to find AJ Stravato. He has not taken a qualifying time yet, and just a minute left here. Looks like he probably won't get one in. But Mr. Jordan Brockle, he gets a 48.181. That's 19th out of 21 so far. Let's see if he can pick it up here on lap number 2. Number 84, Jimmy Johnson scheme. As Jeff Pogo, your regular season champion, he jumps to 6th. 6/1000ths off the pole time. Look at those top 8, just 16/1000ths. Actually, if you go inside the top 10, just 23,000 separating the pole from 10th place. What a close field here in this qualifying session. Let's take a look. Jordan Brockle across the line. He improves to a 47.73. That'll bump him up to 16th position out of the 23 qualifiers. Much improved over lap number 1. And only half a tenth off of the pole time, so really not far off. And with the draft, everybody's going to be right on top of each other. Looks like qualifying coming to a wrap here. The drivers will go to their drivers' meeting, so that means we head to a commercial break. So we will be right back with the starting grid. You won't want to miss where your favorite drivers are starting in just a few moments.
Welcome to VSPEED, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at VSPEEDSim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey. Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series sponsored by this podcast and partnered with VSPEED. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at VSPEEDSim. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
And back at the racetrack now, drivers headed to the starting grid. Let's see where your favorite drivers are starting here tonight in the VSPEED 200. Starting on the pole, Mr. Josiah Vincent with a great lap time. He takes that top spot, 47.68, after a good run last week at North Wilkesboro, but not quite the finish. Although he did get a top 10, so some good momentum after the comeback late in the race. He starts on the pole here tonight. On his outside, fellow playoff driver, Mr. Nick Starling, that 32 machine, just 1/1000th off the pole time. In row number 2, Safe Ferris, the number 44 car. He'll be rolling off third. Seth Hatchell going to be starting in the 4th position, that V-Speed number 8. Ryan Gemmel, his teammate, going to be starting on the 3rd row in 5th position. And regular season champion Jeff Pogo starting to the outside in 6th. Starting 7th, it's Jeremiah Vincent. And rolling off in the 8th position, Dan Dill, that number 81 machine. Cody Adkins going to be starting in 9th position here tonight, and rounding out the top 10, it's Dylan Teal. Zach Smith starting in 11th position here tonight. Eric Holly starting in 12th. Rolling off 13th, it'll be Eric Lambert, the number 3 machine, and Justin Carey starting in 14th position. Eric Hutton starting in 15th, and Jordan Brockle going to be rolling off in the 16th spot. Brandon Vasquez, a.k.a. Batman, he'll be rolling off 17th, with Dallas Sullivan to his outside in 18th. Jason Perkins starting in 19th here tonight. Jordan Shepler going to be rounding out the top 20 on the starting grid. Chris Wheeler rolling off 21st. Alan Dice starting 22nd. 23rd, Kyle Payne. 24th, AJ Stravato locked into next week. He's going to be starting towards the rear here tonight. Brett Sommers recently engaged, starting in 25th here. He did not take a qualifying time. Michael Newman will be on his outside in 26th. Lane Sulfridge starting 27th. Timothy Emanuele going to be starting in 28th. Dennis Steele rolling off 29th here tonight. And Joey Mines going to be starting in 30th. And that will do it for the field here. 30 drivers in tonight's race. Good sized field. And a lot of racing action set to get going here. 80 laps, 200 miles. And there can only be one winner. Will it be a playoff driver? Will it be someone else? Cheer on your favorite driver in the chat. Let us know you're out there, and we will follow along with them throughout the night. I hope you guys enjoyed the VSPEED ad there. We just threw that together recently. Pretty proud of that. Help welcome people to the channel, but I want to welcome you to the race, and green flag underway for the VSPEED 200 at Daytona, race number 2 of the playoffs here in the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. Who's going to win it? We'll find out in 80 laps, but right now at the front it is Josiah Vincent, your pole sitter. He gets out in front with a big push from Safe Ferris. They'll jump out a few car lengths over Ryan Gemmel in that low line, and Nick Starling unable to fight back up on the high line. He's got help from Seth Hatchell, but not able to keep up with the inside line for the moment. But field side by side all the way through. Right now it's all Josiah Vincent at the front. Ryan Gemmel now clears. He'll move to 3rd. His teammate drops in behind him. He'll move to 4th. And there are bonus points awarded for laps led, so Josiah Vincent going to get one of those here tonight. And looking pretty quick here off the line as we bring up our ticker so you can follow along with your favorite driver. Got fans in chat cheering on Seth Hatchell, who rides 4th here on lap number 2. Jeff Pogo drops down low. He'll move to 5th position, and he'll bring Jeremiah Vincent along with him. Nick Starling fading up there in that high line, just not moving in the right direction. He started on the front row all the way back to now 7th. See if he drops in low here. He does, right in front of Cody Adkins. And that leaves us 2 up there on the outside, Dan Dill and Dylan Teal, as Dylan drops down low, almost makes contact with the 3 of Eric Lambert, and Starling's going to jump back outside. Must have gotten a run there. He'll drive around Jeremiah Vincent, but no help at this point. Probably not going to be able to make a lot of progress now side by side for that 5th position with Jeff Pogo. As the top 4 all single file. Does Safe Ferris make a move at any point here? He's going to have to be careful with the pushing. As at Talladega, we did see a couple drivers with blown engines in that race due to pushing a little too hard for a little too long. As, uh-oh, Ryan Gemmel blinking out there. Oh, he's back. Now what he needs to see, he's fairly comfortable in points, but this being one of his best racetracks, got to be careful with that internet connection. The 4-car Josiah Vincent continues to show the way. As the first battle back there between Cody Adkins and Dylan Teal. Dylan down low. Nick Starling trying to work that outside. He's not making any progress though. Right now in the 8th position, and he's going to lose a chance to drop in line if that 78 gets up there next to him. And the top 7 all single file. First battle side by side. Actually about 3 rows side by side behind them. They work down into turn number 1. 4 laps completed. Lap 5 on the board as we've got a car in the wall. That's Dan Dill, I believe. He brushes the wall. There goes Jason Perkins to the middle, but Dan didn't catch the wall. Let's take a look at what happened here. Just drifts up too high. He's lost a bunch of ground now as all those drivers drove right on past him. Dan back to 16th here. The early going of this race. Not one of our playoff drivers, so he is not fighting for the championship, but a race win would, I'm sure, be very welcome. Jason Perkins makes a big move. He'll jump to the outside of Dylan Teal. That's 12th and 13th positions. Nick Starling's faded back to 14th here, but maybe that is intentional. Just trying to get away from any potential chaos. There's AJ Stravado going to the apron. He's going to drop to the back here. Maybe doesn't like the look that he saw. He'll drop to the tail end of the field. There goes the 39 machine of Timothy Emanuele. He'll drive right on past, and there goes Lane Sulfridge. Those two now at the back. Ryan Gemmel dropping to the rear. He loses a ton of ground. Not sure if he was just having connection problems or what, but let's see what happened here. He dropped to the rear, and I think he just couldn't make the corner. Got on that transition, started to lose control a little bit, and drop back down low, and he's going to lose the draft, I believe. Currently about 1.5 seconds behind Lane Sulfridge. So one of your playoff drivers, Ryan Gemmel, with some early issues. And there's no stages or anything in this race to catch you back up, so if this stays green for very long, he could be in a bind here early on in this event. Josiah Vincent continues to show the way. The top 12 all single file. Small gap back to Cody Adkins, who leads the second group here with Dallas Sullivan and others. Alan Dice, Jordan Shepler, Nick Starling all in this pack. And now we've got some wheeling and dealing going on up here. Brandon Vasquez has climbed towards the front. He's up here in the 8th position. He'll jump to the outside of Eric Hutton, trying to take 7th position away. And he's bringing Jason Perkins and Dylan Teal along with him as they try to make that outside line work here for the first time tonight. There goes Eric Lambert jumping up there as well. And the more of these drivers race side by side, that second group's going to catch back up. Led by Cody Adkins, that 13th place car. I think many of these drivers content to just stay single file and not really race it up all that much. You see those 5 up there, and here comes the 25 of Eric Howie. He's going to catch up to the back of Eric Hutton or start closing in. Now alongside Jason Perkins. Eric Howie, though, in that 10th spot. He'll take 9th away out of turn number 4 and get alongside Brandon Vasquez, trying to take 8th away. As 2 wide, about 3 deep. Jason Perkins jumps up high, almost took it 3 wide to the outside of Brandon Vasquez. And thinks better of it here just 10 laps into this race. Probably a smart move. As they work down the back stretch here. Lap number 10 on the board. Let's see if that second group making any progress. Cody Adkins, the nose cam here, back 4 positions from where he started, and maintaining a gap of about a half second up to Chris Wheeler. This may very well be intentional. Looks like we might have a battle for the lead up there, though. Josiah Vincent down low. Who's outside. Safe Ferris finally leaves the inside. That allows Seth Hatchell to move to second on the inside and give a big push to the 4 here out of turn number 2. And Safe unable to deal with the speed down low. There goes Jeff Pogo, regular season points champion. He'll jump out of line and drop to the back of this pack. But can't make the mistake that Ryan Gemmel did. As he gets back in line in the 10th position, Gemmel able to hang on to a little bit of draft from Lane Sulfridge, who's just up the road behind Kyle Payne, Jordan Brockle, and AJ Stravado. So Ryan actually reeling them back in now, so that is good news for him. He did not lose the draft entirely, but 5.5 seconds off your leader, still a good margin behind. As at the front, Seth Hatchell's jumped to the outside of the leader, and he's fighting for the lead. Good run down the backstretch with the push from Safe Ferris. He'll clear the 4-car. He'll drop down in line. Kind of box in Josiah Vincent. Does the 4-car jump outside here? And he just got ditched by Hatchell. Not going to happen just yet. Is Hatchell going to be the first new leader of the race? So first lead change, Seth Hatchell jumps to the outside, goes around Josiah Vincent with the push from Safe Ferris, and he takes over the top spot. Now the outside line starting to fade a little bit as there comes Jeremiah Vincent up into third. And maybe those two coordinating. Looks like Josiah going to jump outside. He'll bring the 9 with him. Eric Hutton going to remain down low. He'll come to the back bumper of Hatchell. But Josiah Vincent going to take over the top spot once again. Unable to bring the 9-car down there with him, so Hatchell will hang on to the second spot on the low line, but at the front, Jeremiah Vincent with the push, he'll lead a lap. Very much needed point there for the 9-car, who had a great run last week as well. He'll jump down low in front of Josiah. Safe Ferris continues to be the guy that helps everyone else lead, but has yet to get up there and lead a lap himself. He comes in on the cut line. That bonus point would be very helpful. Let's see where Zach Smith running 17th right now, so he's not really in the mix. Back there behind Nick Starling, and right there in front of Michael Newman, the 12 car. As things not quite as organized in this second pack, they have started to lose the lead pack, now 4.3 seconds behind the leader. It's Cody Adkins, and about a 3-second margin to Chris Wheeler, who had a straggler back here on this lead pack. Right there behind Eric Holly, Jeff Pogo, those teammates. But up here showing the way, the Vincent brothers. Seth Hassel, the VSPEED machine, right there in third. Those 3 drivers, the only ones to lead some laps here, but the 44 getting a run on the outside of the tri-oval. A push from Eric Lambert. Can he get up there and lead some laps? He's pushed everybody to the lead so far. Just 15 laps completed. Fuel range should be somewhere in the 30 lap, the 30 to 35 laps. I would think maybe a little shorter. I think they're running 70% fuel tonight. So maybe it's less than 30. We'll see how that works out. But probably going to be at least a 2-stop race. Safe Ferris draws even with your leader, Jeremiah Vincent. Now the 44 gets an advantage into turn 1, but the 9-car pulls back out in front here as they get a little bit squirrely down in that corner. Close call for Josiah, who looked like he almost got on the apron there. The 9 pulling the inside line down the backstretch. They have an advantage, but the 44 charging into turn number 3 gets back along this quarter panel. The 9 pulls back out in front, and the 4-car gets a nose out in front of Ferris for second place. I think they've just got to get a little bit more organized up high. Maybe one more car is needed to really get the momentum going up there. The 44 car is not able to get out in front. We never went over the weather at the start of this race. It's not super important for this racetrack. 81-degree track temp, 78-degree air temp, so pretty reasonable here in Daytona. We have remained under green the entire way Just 2 lead changes between the Vincent brothers, Seth Hatchell as well. 2 lead changes, no cautions. I don't want to jinx anything, but looking pretty good and pretty organized. Everyone minding their P's and Q's. As Safe Ferris not able to lead that lap, I don't think. Oh, he does lead the lap, so Safe Ferris notches 1 in that column. He'll get a bonus point. Very valuable as he comes in right on the cut line. And if you're enjoying the race so far, you want to catch more of the action, check us out on all of these different social media outlets: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Safe Ferris gets the push from Eric Lambert. He'll jump out in front of the low line. Huge advantage there. Maybe too much, possibly. If the 9 car can get behind him, he can jump outside. And Brandon Vasquez looks like he's going to try and take it 3 wide. Not going to do it. He thinks better of it as Jeremiah Vincent now boxed in Eric Lambert alongside of him. But not a lot of momentum up there in the high line at the moment. As I was saying, you want to be updated about when we go live and when races are happening throughout the week. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. And follow us on those platforms to be involved. You can also find us on Instagram if you want to catch some occasional news. And we do some on-site reporting when races are happening and we're at them. We'll share some imagery from the track. Not a lot of races being attended this year, though. We did get to go to New Hampshire, so that was pretty cool. But other than that, Martinsville was on the list, and that is not going to happen this year. So definitely unfortunate. Watkins Glen also a yearly trip for the VSPEED team, and weren't able to make it up there other than for some pace laps. But right now, Safe Ferris showing the way in front of the Vincent brothers and Eric Lambert. Seth Hatchell up here in the lead group as well. Eric Hutton hanging on in 9th position. Jeff Pogo in 10th. Those are really your only playoff drivers up here in the mix. Michael Newman is up there as well. But that is all of them, it looks like. There's shuffling going on up here. We see the 9 car, the Vincent brothers drop down low. Not sure what they saw there, but they drop out of the lead pack just a bit. Back to 7th and 8th position. Is at the front now. Eric Lambert, the 3 car, trying to lead some laps. He gets a push from Brandon Vasquez. And he'll take over the top spot. The 19 not able to drop down in line, so it looks like Eric gonna wait till they both can clear. And Safe Ferris charging back down low. Might not happen, so Eric ditches the 19. He'll drop down in front of the pack. And I would not be surprised to see that 44 car make a move here, jump outside. He's pushed so many people tonight, and he has led a few laps now, so does have that to say for the early going of this race. But over a quarter of the way through already, it's been green, and not too long of an event here, just 80 laps, but that means you really got to get moving, and some of these drivers not moving so fast. We've got a pretty decent margin back from Chris Wheeler to Michael Newman. That margin about 1.5. Actually, it was 3 seconds, so this second group had really organized and started to reel in the lead pack. Ryan Gemmel, who dropped to the back, was in 30th place. He is up to 18th now, so he started to climb back up towards the front after a mistake trying to drop to the back. He dropped a lot farther than I think he wanted to. He climbs back to 18th position after starting up there in the top 5. And AJ Stravato, who we saw back there in last place at one point as well, he's up to 14th in this little 4-car pack here. That's Michael Newman, Stravato, Nick Starling, and Joey Mines starting to reel in the lead pack here, and maybe even catching a hint of draft from those guys. But at the front of the field, Eric Lambert, I know a fan favorite here in the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. He's getting to show some strength here. He's been very good at these plate tracks. And right now leading some laps, probably the most he's led so far here. And we'll see how long he hangs on to it. Now the 44 jumps up high. He's going to take it to the pit lane. Be careful not to slide the car too much. He brings Brandon Vasquez with him. The 19 will actually leapfrog him here as they make their way down the pit lane. He'll try and find his stall somewhere. The 19 very conservative, and then Lambert much closer. He gets into his box nicely there. Safe Ferris will take over the lead once again. He's got Seth Hatchell on the back bumper. As just 25 laps into this thing, we have cars pitting, so definitely going to be at least a 2, maybe 3 stop strategy if we don't get a few caution laps. And here comes Safe Ferris. He'll bring a handful of drivers. Hatchell comes with him. The 49 of Jason Perkins, as well as looks like Dylan Teal and others. Chris Wheeler coming down. Michael Newman, Dallas Sullivan, Nick Starling, Cody Adkins, Alan Dice, Timothy Emanuele back here. He's in his box. Brett Sommers and a few others. Zach Smith on the pit lane. So a lot of drivers coming in. The timing is all thrown off right now. Jeremiah Vincent, your leader, as they put a lap on Brandon Vasquez, but they're going to bring it down. So this is, I believe, the remainder of the lead lap cars, as a lot of them coming in side by side. AJ Stravato, very good entry there. But he'll be inside of 3 wide, and this is definitely sketchy, but his pit box all the way down here at the back end of pit lane. So he gets into the stall there. There's Kyle Payne. The 68 gets into his box. And a few drivers down here at the end of pit road. Ryan Gemmel brings it in this time as well. Can't get a good view of that race car. Now he gets out of the box. And the Vincent brothers will not win the battle. Eric Hutton takes the lead from this small group. And here come a few cars. Safe Ferris is going to be up to speed. And he's got Seth Hatchell behind him, but only 2 drivers. Early, it looks like it might have an advantage. They'll still retain those top 2 spots. As they work past the Vincent brothers, Eric Hutton just a few car lengths up. They'll jump to the outside of him. The 77 left in the dust. And there should be a few more cars up to speed on their way up here. Cody Adkins, I believe, one of them. And it'll be 3 wide, I think. Nope, they're going to just drop in line here with the Vincent brothers and AJ Stravato. A few stragglers out of that group. Ryan Gemmel back here, Jeff Pogo behind him, Dan Dill, Eric Lambert, Brandon Vasquez. That strategy of pitting earlier didn't help them. I don't think they had the manpower really as they were getting back up to speed. But right now, Safe Ferris, Seth Hatchell have about a 2.3 second margin over Eric Hutton, but that will close up here probably a few laps as they start to get organized. Leaders running a 46.4, Hatchell at 46 flat, and these guys will probably get up to around the 45-second flat range, and they'll start reeling in those top 2. So advantage could be here with Hutton in the 77. Take a look off the nose cam of Hutton. That's the difference right there. 2.19, now 2.1 seconds. Last time by, actually about equivalent lap time. So the top 2 have picked up the pace, running 45.5. But I think Hatchell probably pushing pretty hard, and he can't do it forever. Hatchell, so good in the regular season, has not found victory lane, but he's led a lap here tonight. He's got about 20 points over the cut line and looking to add to that, but that group behind him is closing now. 1.4 seconds the margin. Let's take a quick lap number 30 off the board. 31 comes up. And laps just flying by. No cautions yet in this race. We've had a handful of leaders, but not too many changes at the front of this pack. Right now that lead group, or the leaders, just 2 cars, but 6 tenths now, 5 tenths, and this group has caught them. So from Eric Hutton back to what looks like Ryan Gemmel in 12th position have caught up. We're going to have a 12-car lead pack. It's about a second back to Jeff Pogo, who leads a smaller group with Dan Dill, Eric Lambert, Joey Mines, and Brandon Vasquez. So 5 cars there. That's 13th through 17th. And then it's another 3.5 seconds back to Brett Sommers, who leads Zach Smith, Timothy Emanuele, Lane Sulfridge, Jordan Brock, Justin Carey, Kyle Payne, and a lot of others, but they find themselves 7 seconds off the lead and not gaining time at the moment. So we'll see what happens with them. But at the front, Safe Fair is able to collect the run from the 77 in the 4-car. Josiah Vincent jumps to the outside. He brings Jeremiah with him. He brings AJ Stravato and Dylan Teal to see if they can make that outside line work. But right now, Safe Fair is in control of this race. We're going to go to a green flag side-by-side commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Introducing the Brawl Network. The Brawl Network brings your favorite team's news and opinions in an unfiltered, educated, and entertaining way. Enough of the mainstream media's bias, filtered, reiterative news. Our reporters are fans of the teams they cover, as opposed to most major reporters. While some may feel it is good to get unbiased takes, it results in negative bias, passionless articles, and boring podcasts and radio. The Brawl Network changes the game by reporting the same news as the mainstream media, but with passion, in-depth knowledge of the teams, and in an entertaining way. We use our connections to bring you behind-the-scenes information and perspectives daily. Brawl is a way of life here. For our listeners and contributors, we hear all opinions, voices, ideas, thoughts, and hot takes. The Brawl Network is where your voice is heard, and you can hear your voice. Also check out NASCAR Brawl, the newest Brawl podcast focusing on all the newest NASCAR and motorsports news from across the industry. We're proud to bring you the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series, sponsored by this podcast and partnered with VSPEED. Watch weekly on Wednesdays at 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Twitch at VSPEEDSIN. Check out the Brawl Network at thebrawlnetwork.com and on Twitter at Network Brawl, and the NASCAR Brawl podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with new episodes coming soon.
Flag still being shown here at Daytona. Alan Dice just got put 1 lap down. He gets absorbed into this lead pack. And Josiah Vincent made a hard charge. They were fighting for the lead here and unable to make it work as Safe Fair continues to show the way. But if you're just joining us, this is the VSPEED 200 at Daytona. Race number 12 of 20 and race number 2 of the playoffs in the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. And 80 laps here tonight, total of 200 miles. And we are already approaching halfway in this event, so things flying by here. And now the outside line starting to make some moves. Josiah Vincent gets a big push from Stravato. We've seen those Vincent brothers and Stravato, Eric Hutt, and that group work extremely well together on these super speedways, nearly capturing a win at Talladega. They were right up there in the mix until the tri-oval when things went crazy. Nick Starling pulled out the victory, and Nick not up here in this lead pack yet. He finds himself in 27th position, currently 27.7 seconds off the pack. He's right back here with Jordan Shepard, Dallas Sullivan. Dallas actually 1 lap down after a 38-second pit stop. I believe he got caught with speeding. Had an extended stay down there, but they are in danger of going a lap down, and in case of Sullivan, multiple laps down. As the field running a 45.1, those guys back there running high 46s, nearly 47-second laps. They'll get caught in probably about 8 laps or so they're going to have to be hoping for a caution, try and make up some time, maybe do no tires, just have a real quick pit stop. I don't really know what the call is here. Everybody took 4 on that last pit stop with pit times as low as 12.5 seconds. Actually, Eric Hutton with 11.9 second stop, so very quick times in the first pit stop. And that was about 25 laps in, so you'll expect to see it closer to lap 50. Some drivers may be going as far as lap 54. And I think that would get them just to the end. But if these guys have to hit at lap 50, I don't think they'll be able to make it. They'll probably be a couple of laps short, and those drivers that tried to stretch it all the way could have the advantage here. Right now at the front, still safe. Fair is showing the way. Very good, strong run as he started up towards the front. He's been up here. He's pushed other drivers to the lead, and he's finally getting to show some strength out front. He has led 15 laps after starting in that 3rd position. So very, very good race so far for that 44 car. We haven't seen too much craziness here tonight. We've only seen really 1 car hit the wall. Nobody really make contact or have any moments other than Gemmel down on the apron. He lost touch with the lead package. Actually, looks like now some more drivers joining this group. We've got all the way back to Joey Mines in 17th up here, within 2 seconds of the lead. So a lot of drivers still in contention as we are about to get to the halfway point. Completion of lap number 40. There'll be 40 more to go. Safe Fair is your leader at halfway. We're going to do a rundown here of the field. See where everybody is driving or riding this race. Safe Fair is your leader. He shows the way in front of Seth Hatchell right there behind him. 2nd place, he's led a lap, started 4th. Josiah Vincent up high. He leads AJ Stravato, and he's led 13 laps here tonight. Stravato started in 24th. He's up to 4th position. Dylan Teal up there in 5th. He rides there in the top 5, started 10th. Eric Hutton down low at the 77 machine. He's up from 15th to 6th. Jason Perkins from 19th to 7th. Cody Adkins riding right where he started in the 9th position. Chris Wheeler up here in the top 10, started 21st. Ryan Gemmel started 5th, fell all the way to last, and he's up here in 11th once again. Eric Hawley right where he started in 12th. Jeff Kojo started 6th. He's back in 13th, trying to get back up there in contention. Brandon Vasquez a few positions up in 14th. Dan Dill up in 15th. Actually started 8th, so he's lost some spots. He does have some right side damage after brushing the wall. Joey Mines charging in the outside. He'll move to 14th now after starting dead last in the field. Eric Lambert goes to 15th, now 14th after starting in the 13th position. He's led 3 laps here in tonight's race. Michael Newman leads the 2nd group, now 13.2 seconds behind. He is up 8 spots from where he started. Justin Carey up back 5 spots from where he started. Zach Smith back 9 spots. So these guys have all pretty much gone the wrong way. Jordan Brockle, he's back 5 spots as well. Kyle Payne, he's gained 1 position. Dennis Steele has gained 6 positions. Brett Sommers, he's gained 1 spot. So far, Timothy Emanuele up 3, and not the run that he's going to need if he wants to climb inside the top 12. Currently just 8 points out coming into the race, but this is not going to help him out if he finishes in this area. Lane Sulfridge in the same boat. He's up 1 spot from where he started, but 26th is not going to cut it. Nick Starling, your winner at Talladega, he's having some trouble back here in 27th. Back from the second starting position, Jordan Scheffler, he's back 8 spots. Dallas Sullivan 1 lap down, he rides 29th, and Alan Dice 3 laps off the pace after a very extended pit stop. He's up here in the lead pack trying to get one of those back, but he is currently dead last in the field, and everybody out here still running. And 28 out of 30 cars on the lead lap, so very impressive showing. Seth Hatchell has taken over the top spot. Josiah Vincent drops down low. And Safe Ferris will get shuffled back to 3rd here, so that all while we were doing the rundown of the field. Hatchell jumps back out to the lead. Try and get some more laps led here in tonight's race. But your current lap leader is Mr. Safe Ferris. He rides 3rd. AJ Servato drops down low. That leaves Dylan Teal up high. Brandon Vasquez is going to ditch him. He'll drop down low. The 78 dropping like a rock right now. He'll have to find a spot in line as the 77 closing in quickly, and he's not going to jump down there, so Hutton will get alongside here. 78 gets some help from Joey Mines and Eric Lambert, but they're going to fall to the back of this front pack here. At the front, it's Hatchell leading. Josiah Vincent, Safe Ferris, AJ Stravado, the lap car of Alan Dice, and then Jason Perkins trying to work the outside line. He's got no help right now. Brandon Vasquez loose to the inside here. He's starting to climb towards the front, up to the 6th position, and trying to take that pit spot away from the 49. And right now, Seth Hatchell, the VSPEED Camaro, showing the way. In front of the Vincent brothers, number 4. Safe Ferris at 44 machine. Let's check up on the second group here. Michael Newman showing the way, but they have continued to lose time. Running about the same lap time as the leaders now, but 14.8 seconds back, so it is not going to be possible for them to race back up there. They're going to have to pull some kind of strategy or hope for a yellow flag. This group from 18th to 26th. And then only 4 cars not really at all close enough to do anything. Nick Starling back here, he is in deep trouble. Only 10 seconds in front of the leader is this small 3-car pack, and they've picked up the pace as well. But anytime you're 35 seconds back at Daytona, it is not a good day. And looks like there's some damage. Yes, there is damage on Nick Starling's car. You just barely see it there. The left front actually has a little bit of damage. So it could be the reason that he is so far back here. At the front, there's been a huge change. Seth Hatchell's dropped back to 6th. And Jason Perkins taking over the top spot. Joey Mayans also up there. Eric Lambert, Brandon Vasquez, and Dylan Teal, the top 5. Holy cow, what a change as Seth Hatchell drops to 6th. What happened? See if we can find out. Must have been a moment or something. But just a big charge from that outside line. The inside just did not have the steam. It looks like Hatchell falls to 6th, but still in striking distance. And there is AJ Stravado going to the apron once again. And I'm not sure if some of these guys are going to have to start saving. And maybe that was the call here. Maybe they're just kind of lifting a little bit and they wanted to get the draft, knowing that leading the pack is not effective for saving fuel. So maybe that is the reasoning behind what Seth Hatchell did there. They dropped back as lap 50 goes up on the board. How much longer do they go? It's 23, maybe 24 laps for some of these guys. Joey Mines challenging for the lead right now with Jason Perkins. This would be quite the upset if Joey Mines can come away with a victory. Not a playoff driver and had a very rough season. He comes into the race tonight in the 26th position in points. So what a confidence booster it would be, though, to capture a victory and come out of here with that trophy. Jason Perkins also, he's had a few good runs, not a playoff contender either. He joined late, he missed a few races, and he has had a top 5 and 2 top 10s in his 7 starts, so has been up in contention a few times. And currently comes into this race in the 28th position in points, just a couple back from Joey Mines actually. Eric Lambert comes into the race, he's 25th, just about 10 points up the road from those guys. So in the battle for best of the rest, it is possible for these guys to climb up there and maybe get to 17th in the standings. First drivers outside as here comes Eric Lambert and Brandon Vasquez. They pitted early last time and actually ended up having to climb through the field as a result, but they're going to be the first ones to blink once again. As Brett Sommers, Justin Carey, Jordan Brocco, and many others actually making their way off the pit lane. Will they be able to go the distance from here? It's going to be tough, I think. As Dylan Teal wiggling on the outside, he might have had a close call with the 49 of Perkins. He'll drop down low, get in line with the bottom groove here, as I think these guys setting up to come down pit lane. Joey Mines, your leader, having some trouble holding that inside line, but he's going to bring it to the pit road. Got to be very careful on this pit entry. As he slows up very nicely, no problems at all. And a few drivers bringing it down now. That is Joey Mines, Dylan Teal, and Jason Perkins. Ooh, the 20, I think he overshot his box. Yes, he did, so that's going to be a huge amount of time lost. Still trying to find the box. Oh, what a disaster. Came in your leader. And now it's back to these two. Seth Hatchell, Safe Ferris. And they've got about a second over everybody else. Josiah Vincent, AJ Scrivato, Eric Hutton, Alan Dice, Jeremiah Vincent. And that whole group right there. What an interesting call to pull out so far. Did they bring it down this time? Here comes Hatchell. Safe Ferris is going to go to the outside of him here as they make their way onto the pit lane. 44 really driving hard. He'll pass the 8 machine. Coming on to pit lane. So good job there as AJ Scrivato and others remain on the racetrack. Scrivato leading his first laps of the night. Joey Mines just getting back up to speed. You see how much slower he is down the backstretch here. Will he be able to grab on as he goes one lap down through the cycle? And I would be interested to see. It looks like all these guys who just pitted, Cody Atkins, Chris Wheeler, they all take 4 tires, I believe. Maybe Chris Wheeler on 2, not exactly sure, but Hatchell going to beat him out in front. He'll lose touch a little bit, though, with Safe Ferris, so this guy's going to have to regroup as the leaders bring it onto pit road. Scrivato nicely in his box. Eric Hutton into his box. Josiah Vincent making it into his box. Here comes Brett Sommers and others to get back on the lead lap. They're going to be well behind the lead group, though, as Nick Starling just making it off the pit lane. He's going to be on the tail end of the lead lap with Jordan Shepler and Dallas Sullivan. Sullivan already 1 lap down, in danger of going 2. Scrivato right now wins that battle off pit road, but here comes Safe Ferris, Seth Hatchell. They might be too far back. They should be able to grab that group. 1 and 2, you can see the leaders just up in the distance. I think these guys might actually have it. Let's go to the nose cam as he goes to the outside. There's Ryan Gemmel, Josiah Vincent. And up there it's Eric Hutton and AJ Scrivato as those guys get up to speed. And Ferris and Hatchell climb to the front of the field here with 25 laps remaining. Scrivato a little bit separated from his teammate there, Eric Hutton. As here come those two charging right up behind them. 44 going to jump outside. He'll bring Hatchell with him. They'll drive right around Hutton and right around Stravato. No challenge there. So it worked out just like it did the time before. Ferris and Hatchell, very good strategy in this race, but can they make it to the end? Pitting 1 lap sooner than everyone else in this lead group. Brandon Vasquez actually pitted 2 laps sooner than these guys, along with Eric Lambert. So they're the ones who are going to have to go longest on fuel. And that will be a big question mark. We might see him run out on the last lap, and that would be so unfortunate for drivers who have otherwise had a fantastic night. And 4 drivers up here in the lead pack. Actually, those 2 up there, so 6 drivers in the lead pack, and then it's a second and a half back to Josiah Vincent and Ryan Gemmel. Jeremiah Vincent, Dylan Teal, Jason Perkins also in this group. And just a few seconds up the road, Nick Starling in danger of losing a lap here. This would be the exact opposite of what he needs in this race, as Alan Dice finally brings it down himself. He is going to take 2 tires, it appears. He is 2 laps down, about to go a 3rd lap down, I believe. See if he can hold off the leaders here and stay just 2 laps down, because he might have a chance to get back on the lead lap if we get some late yellows. Still 28 drivers on the lead lap. No cautions in this race so far. Let's go to a quick recap. 20 lead changes in 58 laps. So it's been heating up at the front. It was pretty mild for the first run of this race. And ever since then, it's been a bit more action up here as Stravato takes over 2nd. Hutton comes with him to 3rd, and St. Ferris drops to 4th. Nick Safe maybe realizing he's got to save a touch of fuel, so he drops into the pack here. Make sure he's good on gas. And Hatchell probably going to be in the same boat. Maybe he lets Vasquez jump out to the lead. So that 19 car charging with a push from the 78 of Dylan Teal. The field working through turn number 4 onto the front stretch. It is Seth Hatchell, Brandon Vasquez showing the way for each of these lines. Here comes Jeff Pogo out of nowhere, shot out of a cannon. He'll come up to 2nd on the outside line with Eric Hawley behind him. Jeff has been minding his own business, running his own race, and now he's up here in the mix in the last 20 laps. How consistent has that 24 been all season? He's been great. He was the regular season champion. Almost gets to the inside of the 19. That was risky, as Vasquez kind of showed a little bit too much space. The 24 almost took it, and that could have been very messy. Could have taken out a few playoff drivers. As the 24 is still on the back bumper, does he make a move to try and lead that 2nd group, or is he content riding behind Vasquez for the moment, try and save a little bit of fuel in that number 24 car? Drivers probably good to go on fuel. We've got AJ Stravato, that 48 car, and then Eric Hutton, the 77. I think he's going to be good on fuel as well. Let's take a look a little farther back. Maybe Ryan Gemmel and Josiah Vincent, they pitted later than everyone else in the field, just by a lap, but that lap could be all the difference here. Seth Hatchell, who pitted a lap before them, he's been leading a good portion of this run. He's got to be very careful that he does not burn that car out of fuel. Run out on the last lap or coming to the line, it could be disastrous for the rest of the field. Seth probably watching that fuel reading in iRacing and just hoping that it says he's got enough, as As there goes Pogo to the inside. He'll make it 3 wide under Vasquez, the 19. He's been going pretty wide on the backstretch. He'll drop out of line. And he and Eric Lambert on a couple laps more, a couple laps extra to go on the fuel this run. They're going to have to be very mindful of that. I think they're going to be short by a lap or so. So I gotta wonder if they can make it or what they're choosing to do here. Safe Fair is back to 10th. He was leading this group as the cycle completed, and now he's the tail end of this lead group, maybe saving a bit of fuel. Dylan Teal back here with Josiah Vincent, Ryan Gemmel, and a few others. Cody Atkins, Jeremiah Vincent. The only drivers now in contention. And Chris Wheeler, he lost this lead group. He was up there with them out of the pits, and now he's 11.1 seconds back, trying to work with Alan Dice, who is 3 laps off the pace. A few other drivers behind them. Justin Carey, a playoff driver, he's in 17th, 20 seconds back. Jordan Brockle back here, Michael Newman, Timothy Emanuele, another playoff driver, he's 20th. Zach Smith, 21st. Joey Mines, Brett Sommers. A few others back even further. Kyle Payne, and then Nick Starling, 26th. And last, or not last of the playoff drivers, rather, Lane Sulfridge also back here in 28th. Last driver on the lead lap, 42.4 seconds back, so he's within 3 seconds of getting lapped by your leaders. Then Alan Dice, 3 laps down. You know what? Alan is a playoff driver. He came in 15 points above it, but he's riding dead last, 3 laps down, and this is going to be a disastrous night. He's not going to get many points for this finish if he ends up back here and time's running out. Just 15 laps to go as they come to the line this time. And right now it's Seth Hatchell, AJ Stravato showing the way, and Eric Holly charging on the outside with a push from Jeff Pogo. We've got Eric Lambert, Dan Dill, others up here in this lead group. Jason Perkins, Eric Hutton also in the mix. They go side by side, about 4 rows deep. 15 laps left to run. Who is going to win this race? Give your vote in chat. Let us know who you're rooting for here in the closing laps. Right now it's Seth Hatchell, the VSPEED Camaro, leading the VSPEED 200, but anything can change here in this race. I wonder, is that 8 car going to make it on fuel? It's going to be very tight. There's some connection problems for vehicles up the road. Lane Sulfridge, Jordan Shepler, Nick Starling, Dallas Sullivan up here. Let's take a look from the back bumper. Lane having problems. You can see the leaders closing in. Jordan Shepler right here. Middle of this, his number's not showing up tonight. Not exactly sure why, but he finds himself back there, and they're just now 3 seconds in front of the leaders, so not going to be a great night for Lane Sulfridge or Nick Starling, who came in needing points. Nick was pretty good in terms of the gap to the cutoff, but this 26th place run right now not going to help him out very much. He was only 33 to the cut line, and he will lose most of that, especially if the driver behind him takes the win here tonight. That would be Seth Hatchell showing the way. Stravato already locked in. As Eric Lambert right there with them, having a great run tonight. He's been up in the top 5 a good portion of this race. And they have gotten out in front. Jason Perkins drops down low. He brings Eric Holly with him. Jeff Pogo has some damage on the right or left side. I'm not sure what happened. But at the front, Hatchell now catching up to this small pack in front of him. He's going to have to navigate these guys And do they elect to go outside, or does the lead go to the outside? Will Stravato and Lambert, what do they choose to do here? Is now Hatchell, he'll jump up high, he'll bring Stravato and Lambert with him. And these guys going to stay down low. Be very respectful of the leaders here, but Nick Starling, Dallas Sullivan, Lane Sulfridge going a lap down. Sullivan going 2 laps down now as Hatchell gets out in front of him. Big push from Stravato out of turn 4. Hatchell got a little bit squirrely there as we're coming to 11 to go. There goes Stravato. He's going to stay on the outside, and he'll have Lambert behind him to help, but Hatchell has this small group of lap cars behind him who you know are going to try and fight to get back in front of him, so they're going to be pushing hard. Hatchell remains the leader, but for how long? 48 car has been the closer here this season. 6 victories. Just so strong all season long, no matter what kind of racetrack we are at. He has been up there fighting for a victory. Right now about to take the lead here with 10 to go. He does clear Seth Hatchell. Oh, and the 3 car of Lambert gets into Hatchell. Hatchell losing it. Trying to hang on. He hits the cone on pit road. Saves the race car. What a save from Hatchell. And that might have just saved his playoff chances, but it cost him a lot of time. He'll drop all the way back to 7th. We saw Lambert. I don't know what was going on there. I think Lambert saw the 48 come down in front, and he just visually followed him, but there was definitely no way that was going to work. He was right alongside the 8 car and just forces them both down to the apron. What a save by Hatchell. Again, maybe saved his playoff hopes. He drops to 2nd behind the lead, but they are not done. There goes Dan Dill spinning to the inside. He's trying to hang on to it. He'll loop the car. See if a yellow flag comes out. He's down off the track. I don't think there will be one. But Dan Dill spins out from the lead pack, and that allows others to come up in front. Here's Eric Holly showing the way now. Stravato in 3rd. Jason Perkins out there with Jeff Pogo, Eric Lambert, so 2 playoff drivers in the mix up here at the front. And Seth Hatchell closing back in. He's got some right front damage, but Safe Fair is also closing in. He's led 21 laps here tonight. Can he get up there and close the deal for his first victory of the season? Eric Hutton now coming along as he gets on the apron just a tiny bit, able to keep it moving. 44 big run. He'll go to the inside of Pogo and bring Hutton with him. They're starting to get a little bit wiggly, so I'm thinking the tire is starting to feel the heat here. And a few other drivers starting to close in. I worry, though, about Ryan Gemmel. He has lost this group. About 6/10 off of Brandon Vasquez, who's 8/10 off of Jeremiah Vincent. But he's got Lane Sulfridge, so maybe Hatchell or Gemmel might be able to climb back up there, but time running out. Just 7 laps to go next time by. And once again, Lambert and Vasquez got to be careful on fuel. Lambert's been up here. He's got damage now, which is not going to help the fuel mileage. And my worry is they're going to run out on the last lap, or maybe even before that, and they're right in the mix up here. Gemmel closing back in just a little bit. He is hoping that he can get up there and fight for this thing, but a long ways to go, and laps running short as Eric Holly, your leader here, in a lap car up in front of them. I think that's Chris Wheeler. Nope, that is Dan Dill, who was up there and looped it on the front stretch. He's right here in front of the leaders. Going to jump out to the outside line. Is he going to try and be aggressive to get back in the group here, or is he going to try and take some revenge out on someone? He is just remaining in that 3rd groove. Josiah Vincent navigates between them. Here comes Gemmel. He'll go 3 wide with the 81 and the 78 as he starts to climb back up through this lead pack. 81 going 1 lap down. As here's the 68 of Kyle Payne. He's hitting the brakes right there in front of these guys. Not a good call to slow down so much as he rubs the wall all the way through 3 and 4 here. That was a close moment for some of these drivers. Eric Hutton, he won 2 weeks ago. Can he get it done here tonight? He's on the outside line getting some help from Jason Perkins. As Lambert's starting to lose a little ground to those lead 2 on the inside. 5 laps remaining. Who is going to take this home? Can Stravato make the move? Does he have enough fuel? What's going to happen? Hatchell, that car definitely a bit hurt. He goes to 11th right now. His teammate Ryan Gemmel climbs in front of him now to 11th, and Hatchell in 12th as they race side by side here with just a few laps remaining. Can the VSPEED Camaros climb up there and challenge for the win? As Eric Howley continues to show the way. He's got to know that 48 car has been just so good all season long. Could be there to make a move on him in the last couple of laps, as Eric Lambert struggling there in that 3rd position as they're approaching Brett Sommers, who drives in the 3rd line. That 7 car about to go a lap down, and so far navigating him very well as this lead pack. Gemmel 3 wide with him at the moment. They're going to clear him. Ryan Gemmel goes to 8th position, so he is climbing through the field. And Eric Hutton now alongside Stravato, so that's going to limit the movement of the 48. He's not going to be able to jump to the outside. He'll have to go to the inside. And 25 probably not going to give up that inside groove. I know there's not a lot of rules on the yellow line and stuff, but now the 48 does clear the 77. No real pressure from that outside line. 3 laps to go. They're gonna have to get organized. If they want any shot at this thing, but Stravato, big push to the 25. Lambert is gonna clear. He'll move to 3rd by himself. Here comes Safe Ferris, though. That 44 car has been incredible tonight. And the 3 is gonna have to drop to pit road. Eric Lambert not gonna make it on fuel. He's coming in hot. Got it slowed down, I think. Here comes Dylan Teal as well. And Brandon Vasquez also on the pit lane. So some drivers not going to make it. 2 laps to go. The white flag next time by Safe Ferris to the outside of Stravato. They make contact. The 48 goes around the 44. Gemmel's involved in others. Caution flies here. And we're going to go to overtime. Horrible crash for the 48. And others involved. As the first yellow flag flies, let's go to the replay. See what happens. Looks like the 44 just kind of clipped the rear end of the 48. As they work their way around the corner here, he just hooked him into the outside wall and they go flying. Gemmel nowhere to go. He gets big damage. From that car blown up. What a disaster. He was climbing through the pack. Go to the in-car cam for Gemmel. He tried to go to the inside and man, just couldn't do it. Nowhere to go. That car would not turn down any faster than that. But what a disaster for Ferris too, who came in on the cut line, was running so well. Probably going to come away with most laps led. And that car destroyed. As he gets tagged by Gemmel, the 49 of Perkins heavily involved. And Lane Sulfridge, I think, also made contact there. Maybe someone else. Yeah, I think Lane Sulfridge did make a little, maybe Dan Dill. Let's go on board with Seth Hatchell, who navigated around that. Cars crashing around him. His teammate got hit. He was able to make it through. Good job by Seth to remain in contention. And now driver's probably going to pit here. As Eric Howley comes down, here comes Josiah Vincent, Eric Hutton, everyone else. But man, we went so far, and then chaos breaking out in the lead pack. Just aggressive side draft by Safe Fair has gone wrong. And that's going to cost multiple playoff drivers a shot at a win here and cost them significant points, including the 44, that's about worst case scenario. He's probably going to end up last in this race. We'll have to see if Gemmel can continue here, if he's been able to keep it on the racetrack. That car, very slow right now. I think he has blown up possibly. So that is just so unfortunate for Ryan Gemmel. The 16 car will have an extended stay on the pit lane here and see if he can repair it to get back on the racetrack for these final few laps. But Eric Holly wins the battle off. Josiah Vincent to second. Actually, what happened here? Josiah Vincent showing as the race leader. He takes 2 tires. Eric Hutton. Okay, my timing is all thrown off right now. We're going to have to wait for them to come back around. Oh, the 28 of Dennis Steele spinning on the racetrack. Wow, and what a close call for Eric Hutton. The 28 might have run out of gas. And he tows it to the pit lane. I know sometimes if the engines stutter like that, the cars can hook. And so the timing and scoring going to update here. Eric Lambert, your leader, as he pitted just before that caution happened and gets to remain on the racetrack. And that could be what wins him this race. The strategy that looked like it was not going to help brings him to the front. Gemmel still sitting on the pit lane. He's going to go a lap down at least. Currently showing his 15th, but waiting for this to all update. Overtime can really mess with our timing and scoring, but pace car lights are off. We're going to be going green here, and it'll be a green-white checkered finish. So it's going to be exciting. We've got Eric's on the front row. That's Lambert and Hutton. And then the Vincent brothers behind him, Josiah and Jeremiah. And then third row, Eric Holly, Cody Adkins. Seth Hatchell up here in the VSPEED Camaro. He remains in the top 10 in 7th. Joey Mines in 8th. Zach Smith up to the 9th position. That caution saved him big time. And gonna see if Nick Starling back on the lead lap. He took a wave around, it appears. Or he might have been lucky dog. As the field getting back going in just a moment. Pace car makes the hard left turn. And green flag back in the air. Eric Lambert gets him going. These 2 lead cars, either fuel only or 2 tires. Oh, and cars spinning. That's the 9 and the 25, and cars piling into it. Big wreck on the front stretch on the restart, and we're back under yellow. And that was the 25 of Eric Holly. What happened? We go to the overhead camera here as he was alongside Jeremiah Vincent, the 9 car. Just hooks him a little bit of net code, and 20, the 22, the 24 of Pogo, big damage. Michael Newman as well, the 81 of Dan Dill, a 36, and Nick Starling at the tail end. Oh man, what a disaster for so many drivers. Nick Starling had gotten back on the lead lap, and he's got no front end. Let's try and figure out everyone who's involved in this. 81, the 7, the 9, the 32. 24, man, that is so unfortunate. Brett Sommers involved in the 7. Ooh, there's a hit at the end there. Lane Sulfridge, another playoff driver. He gets collected with the 24 car. As you see him on the outside, up against the wall. He had some damage, and then the 24 just spinning, nowhere to go. But man, it is a parking lot It is a junkyard there on the front stretch after that wreck. And then Eric Lambert still your leader. Eric Hutton in second. I don't know if this car is running. Okay, it is. It was very quiet. As Hutton back here behind him, they're trying to catch up to the pace car, I believe, and things might be a little bit messed up with the overtime rules and just waiting for timing to cycle through. But again, we want to welcome you to VSPEED. If you're just joining us, we're at the very end of this race, the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. This is the VSPEED 200 at Daytona. We're going to go to a quick commercial break so you can hear about VSPEED and the services we offer. So we will be right back with this exciting finish.
Welcome to VSPEED, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
We are closing in on the end of this race. Another overtime shot here, and just want to mention something. What a difference a week makes. AJ Stravato, he won the race last week, and right now it's showing him dead last in the field, although I don't think this is actually correct. Our timing and scoring gets a little bit messed up, but one thing we do know for sure, Eric Lambert pitted. During that caution flag, he gave up the lead, and Eric Hutton takes over the top spot, and Josiah Vincent right there alongside of him. And we've got some new contenders in the mix here now. Zach Smith at 6th. Timothy Emanuele up here in 7th. Notable lucky dog there was Justin Carey, who finds himself 12th after being a lap down. Nick Starling, who was involved, he's 14th. Jeff Pogo, heavily involved, he's 15th. So they're going to be slow here. Probably not going to gain any spots at all. But going to end up somewhere around there. But they're probably going to hope for a yellow or some kind of big wreck on the white flag and maybe be able to pass up some wrecked race cars and gain some spots here. But we're coming to the green flag. Pace car about to make the hard left turn. And we're going overtime racing. A second chance. As Eric Hutton gets going, spins the tires a little bit, but good restart. And the 4 car going to drop down in line behind him. It's going to leave Hatchell right there. Cody Adkins as well. No strangers to each other. And Hatchell with that damage. Can he get it done here? He's losing those two just a little bit, maybe trying to time it with the 31. And how about these cars back here, the 1 of Zach Smith, the 39 of Timothy Emanuele rising to the occasion. They got some new life with the overtimes, and now they're up here right now 5th and 6th. The 1 and the 39, and it's going to be white flag here. These guys make it back to the start-finish line. And the 4 car a little bit squirrely. Josiah Vincent looking for his first victory. Hutton has one just 2 weeks ago. And that 4 car, he's going to jump to the outside. Here goes Hatchell with him. White flag in the air. Hatchell giving a push to Josiah Vincent, and that outside line outnumbering the 77. The 4 car is going to take the lead out of turn 2, but Hatchell now leading the outside line. 4 car going to throw the block. Does Hatchell have room to get down in line? It does not look like it. He's giving a huge shove to the 4 car. I think Josiah Vincent, he's going to have to make a business decision here. Does he go to the inside? Hatchell going to go low. The 4 car throws the block. That leaves Cody Adkins up high. And Hatchell, does he make the move? Where does he go? Can the 4 car block him the whole way? And Josiah Vincent leading. Seth Hatchell jumps to the outside. Not going to be enough, I don't think. It's going to be a photo finish, but Josiah Vincent wins the VSPEED 200. Hatchell and others get turned after the line, but it's all over. Timing shows Josiah Vincent, your race winner. He had a car length actually on the guys behind him, and what a close finish. Eric Hutton shows second place. Hatchell just 4 1/1000ths off. He comes home third. What a good job blocking there by Josiah Vincent. He takes the win as we've got fireworks going off here. The NASCAR Brawl Cup Series VSPEED 200 from Daytona. Josiah Vincent locks his way into round number 2. That number 4 car, what a race. He leads 14 laps tonight. Was very good early on. And then closes it out, taking the lead away from Eric Hutton, who looked like he might have had this thing locked up. But such a great job as he burns it down here on the front stretch. We are going to see if we can bring these guys right up into the booth and have a word with them. Race number 2 of the playoffs is over. We didn't know who was going to have it 80 laps ago, but your winner tonight, Josiah Vincent. Going to pull him up right now. Josiah Vincent, this is Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Josiah, you had a great race here tonight, and man, what a finish. You jumped to the outside of your friend and teammate there, the 77 machine of Eric Hutton, and you held off Seth Hatchell with some great blocks down the backstretch. What were you thinking there coming through those last couple of corners?
It was kind of bittersweet. I wanted to help my buddy Eric out a lot, but at the same time, I wanted to win. It's been a long time coming. I've been pretty consistent all season long, and I just really wanted to win. So I decided to try and go for it there. And then that last lap was pretty hectic. I was basically watching the mirror the entire time, just trying to see where Seth was going to go, see where the momentum was going as well, and try to make moves accordingly. I hope Seth's not too aggravated about some of the blocks I was doing, but when it comes to this type of racing, sometimes that's just what you got to do. So, but yeah, definitely pleased. Definitely looking forward to going to the next round, and pretty happy.
Yeah, you lock yourself into round number 2. We're going to Auto Club next week. Do you think you can go out there and get another one? You've had a lot of great finishes. This is your 5th top 5 here in the first 12 races, so very consistent. What are your thoughts on that track?
I actually like that track quite a bit. I feel like I was better there before the rules package changed, so we'll just have to see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like to go for 2 in a row for sure. But I'll just have to see what I can do, and if I'm in position to help my teammates out, then that's probably what I'll end up doing.
Yeah, and to take the win here in the closing laps, obviously very impressive. You had such a great race at North Wilkesboro last week and kind of had that one taken from you. I think you had a shot really to win that race. Very quick on the long runs, and I think you climbed back to 6th by the end of it. But how much, does it feel? How good does it feel to redeem yourself almost after what could have been last week?
It definitely feels good to redeem myself after last week. Last week is just a racing incident, and that's what most of these things are. I don't think anyone does anything really intentional, but yeah, I mean, it definitely feels good. Finally have a win column. They're in the win column there for sure.
Yes, sir. And it's going to look pretty good as you advance to the next stage in the playoffs. But a win here tonight. You started on the pole as well, and you lead 14 laps on the way to victory tonight. Anybody want to give a shout out to that made tonight's win possible?
First and foremost, I'd like to thank Eric Hutton. He helped me out there quite a bit there at the end, I think. And I'd like to thank the rest of my teammates, Jeremiah, Lane, Lyle couldn't be with us tonight. I'd like to thank AJ as well, and also our series sponsors, the NASCAR Brawl Series, Nick, Zach, Jordan, everyone who puts this on. I'd like to thank you, and VSPEED as well. You guys do a great job.
Thank you, Josiah. Appreciate that. Congrats on winning the VSPEED 200 and moving on to round number 2 in the playoffs. We will catch you next week at Michigan.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, that was your race winner here tonight, Josiah Vincent. He starts on the pole. He wins, goes first from start to finish, and leads 14 laps on the way. Let's take a look at second place driver, Mr. Eric Hutton, who has a bit of a damaged race car now, but was pretty good there, had a good shot at it. Eric Hutton, you got us.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, Eric, so tough to hang on to the lead there on that last lap, but you gave it a shot. You saw the 4-car jump outside. What was the move at that point? What were you trying to do to get back to the front?
Yeah, I just had to hold up bottom line. I mean, it's not really much you can do. I had no option to go high. The 4 and the 8 had a run out there, so I was just sticking to the bottom, hoping I had help behind me. And 8 was pushing 4 real hard, and 4 is bouncing between lanes like he should. And yeah, I mean, can't complain about second. Quick check's not really my thing, so just had a good time working with my teammates, and glad I got a good finish out of it.
Yes, sir. I believe 2 podiums in a row to open up the playoffs here. You're going to be in a great position points-wise, maybe even locked in after tonight's second-place run. You know, we saw you guys hang back in the pack for quite a while. Was that really the intent, or was it just kind of how things shook out that you guys were back there for quite a while and then finally climbed to the front?
Yeah, no strategy has ever worked for me at a plate track, so I tried qualifying and ended up being a horrible lap, and I just kind of felt out the front and decided to work with teammates, kind of hold back, not in the back, but hold away from that very front pack. And we're real close on fuel there, so we were saving a lot of fuel towards the end, so that's part of the reason we were hanging back. Just sticking with teammates really is the only strategy we had going on there.
Yeah, and that's what it did appear like. It looks like you guys have worked well together at the Super Speedways. Almost came away with a victory at Talladega, and you guys do get one here tonight at Daytona. But we're moving on to Auto Club next week. What are your thoughts on going out there?
Yeah, I mean, that's almost a plate track with this package, so I mean, I'm glad I'm locked in, or almost locked in with the points, because you know that for me that track could go either way with this package. But yeah, just pretty good feeling not having to worry about going into that race.
Yeah, I think you will basically be locked in. We'll just have to see how everything shakes out, but a second place should pretty much do it for you with the bonus points you had coming in as well. So you come home second here tonight. You did lead 5 laps on the night, so you'll get some points for that. And good run here tonight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for the P2 finish?
Yeah, I just want to give a big shout out to my teammates working together the whole time, and big shout out to Josiah for winning his first race here in this league. And glad we can get him locked into the next round, and see what other teammates we can get locked into next round. And everybody that puts on this league, it's been a bunch of fun so far this season. The broadcast's been great. Just you know, everybody that does something for this league, it's been fun.
Yes, sir, and thanks for putting on a good show for us here. Sorry you came up just a little short, but a great run nonetheless. Go celebrate, and we will catch you next week.
We'll see you then.
All right, Eric Hutton, P2 tonight, and then third place VSPEED driver, Mr. Seth Hatchell. Seth, Adam in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Seth, it was so close for you coming down to the end, just about a car length short, and you had to overcome adversity a few times. You avoided some wrecks in the late going here, but what a great race. You started 4th, lead 16 laps, and charge your way back up in contention there for the win at the end. Give us a rundown of the race and what you had to go through here tonight.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I'm sure you saw towards the beginning, my teammate Ryan had some connection issues and he had to drop to the back. So it was a pretty interesting race for me, because me and Ryan almost always just drop to the back towards the beginning of the race and ride. And it was a bit different today because I didn't, have him to help me. So I ended up just staying towards the front the whole race, and it was, a completely different race than what I'm usually used to. Um, really long green flag run there. Me and Safe were pretty much together the entire time, and I was burning up a lot of fuel. And I'm guessing that's why he bailed there in the later portions of that run, getting down towards the end, because we were going to be really close on fuel. I know me being up there leading a fair bit of that last green flag run, I was about 3/10 of a lap to the good, so I had to bail with 2 or 3 to go and really save. Of course, that caution came out, everything went haywire after that. I had to make sure I made it back under caution to get fuel, and I thought I was going to be a little off from that, a little further back in the pack, and we got another caution, ended up being in the right spot there at the end. And then at the end, it's just a matter of trying to pick which line has momentum. If you're cleared up at the top, I was there on the last lap. I was on the top, and I thought I was gonna have a pretty good shot. Me and the 4 both cleared the 77 on the bottom, and my plan was to wait till the I think it was the 31 behind me just got to my bumper, and I was gonna dive under the 4 ahead of me, and just didn't quite get there, and he's able to block it. So just there at the end, just happened to time runs and whatnot, just didn't work out. But good finish nonetheless. I needed it after these last couple of weeks. I've been sort of questioning myself on what I need to do, and these races are a fair bit different, but it's a good bit of momentum heading into Auto Club.
Yeah, definitely a great race, and you made another one of those miraculous saves. You had some contact there. I believe it was with Eric Lambert in the tri-oval, and you got shot through the grass. You were in, down on the apron there, slipping and sliding all over the place, and kept it straight, kept it in the lead pack, which was incredible. Yeah, so putting on a show for us once again, and another consistent top 5 for you. We go to Auto Club next week. What are your feelings on going out there?
It should be pretty good. I haven't been a real fan of this aero package, especially with what we'll be running there, with how big the spoilers are. But it's a bumpy track. There's a lot of room. You can get away with running multiple lines there, even with the state of the dynamic track model right now. So shouldn't have any issues running into people as long as everybody's racing clean. And I feel like I'm one of the best guys on the long run, and there tends to be some pretty long runs there, so I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, the fall off definitely a factor at that racetrack, and we'll see if you can bring out that notorious long run speed and get your first victory of the season. But looking pretty good now with the 3rd place going into that final cutoff, or that cutoff race for the this segment of the playoffs. So good points tonight. You started 4th, finished 3rd, lead 16 laps on the way. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for the podium finish tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank you, Adam, for the broadcast. You do a great job. Also, VSPEED for sponsoring the race, as well as being the sponsor on my car. It's a great team to be a part of. Got to thank Nick for running this league. He does a great job. All the admins and all the different sponsors for this league, as well as the drivers.
Awesome, Seth. Well, thanks for putting on a great show. You had fans in chat as always, and you had some great moments here, as well as another miraculous save like we mentioned. So you'll probably want to check that out in the broadcast and go celebrate that P3.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that was Seth Hatchell, 3rd place finisher for Team VSPEED. He finishes on the podium for the VSPEED 200. Not quite his first win of the year, but had to overcome a lot. Also, Josiah Vincent, your winner here tonight. He leads 14 laps, started 1st, finishes 1st. What a race as he locks his way in to the 2nd round of the playoffs. Let's go to the rest of our results, so you can see where your favorite drivers finish here tonight. 2 cautions coming late in this, leading to overtime. 2 different attempts at overtime, and 28 lead changes. Really crazy racing for the lead at different points in this race. 8 total lead changes through this 80 plus laps. Looks like we completed a total of 88 laps, so a little over the 200 advertised miles. But Josiah Vincent comes out on top. Right behind him, Eric Hutton, who was just 4 1/1000ths ahead of Seth Hatchell, edges him at the line. Those are your 2nd and 3rd place finishers. Cody Adkins, strong run. He finishes 4th. Timothy Emanuele, the biggest charge in the end of this thing. He comes home 5th, along with Zach Smith in 6th. What a great run it ended up being for him. 7th was Dylan Teal, good run for him. Brandon Vasquez, possibly his best run of the season, in 8th. Eric Lambert, a good finish, a top 10 for him. He's 9th. And Chris Wheeler finishes in the 10th position. In 11th, it was Joey Mines, the number 20. Nick Starling able to salvage a 12th place finish here tonight. Jeremiah Vincent finishes 13th. Justin Carey, a pretty solid 14th after the way his race went tonight. Jordan Brockle, first car, one left down, at 15th. Michael Newman finishes 16th. Lane Sulfridge able to salvage a 17th with that heavily damaged car. Jeff Pogo 18th. Dallas Sullivan 19th. And Dan Dill rounds out the top 20. So some of your playoff drivers mired back outside the top 15. It'll be interesting to see how the points shake out. 21st was Kyle Payne. 22nd, Alan Dice, one of your playoff drivers. Brett Sommers, 23rd. 24th was Dennis Steele. 25th, AJ Stravato. Actually, might be a little mixed up on the screen here for me. Jordan Shepler showing as 25th. Eric Holly, 26th. Ryan Gemmel, disappointing, 27th. He ran very strong early in this race. Jason Perkins finishes 28th. AJ Stravato showing 29th. And Safe Ferris showing in the 30th position up here. So that is a rough night for Safe, who needed points, and he is not going to get them here other than the few bonus points for leading laps. So disappointing night for him, but that is going to do it for our broadcast. We'll be back next week with the Underdog Racing League on Wednesday. So you won't want to miss that race. That should be a good one. And then right back here with the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series on Thursday. Should be a great race at Michigan. We want to thank you for joining us here for the VSPEED 200 for the NASCAR Brawl Cup Series. Check us out on all of these social media outlets if you want to stay connected, and follow us throughout the rest of the season and for future broadcasts. You can find race replays over on YouTube at VSPEED, and we are doing that giveaway like we mentioned. So if you enjoyed the broadcast tonight, please consider following or subscribing if you haven't, and also follow us on Twitter to be eligible for that giveaway we'll be doing when we get to our gold numbers. Also check us out at vspeedsim.com to see if there's any services that might interest you in taking your iRacing experience to the next level. We offer custom design work, whether it's 2D or 3D. We can help you out there, help you get up and going with broadcasting if you'd be interested in joining the team as well. And also we can help you create custom merchandise, so much more than just those services as well. So check us out at vspeedsim.com, see if there's anything that we can help you out with. But I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We're going to jump in with another broadcaster or another streamer here. Let's see who we've got online. Let's see if David Schildhouse is on. He is. David Schildhouse streaming right now. Great driver, great friend to the channel, and awesome iRacing content. We're going to jump in with him. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.